All right, well, good afternoon and welcome to our third session in our TrinCon virtual event. My name is Bobby Haggard and I am one of the consultants here at TrinSoft. Just to be sure everyone's at the right session, this session is titled Why You Should Consider Automation Solutions Beyond Dynamics. In this exciting session, we will bring in Jeremy Pritchard from our TrinDocs team, and Jeremy will review how his team is delivering automation as unique as you, as your entire procure-to-pay process from requisitions to payables to vendor payments, all in one. So a bit of housekeeping here before we jump in. First up, just wanted to notify everyone we have muted the phone lines, trying to keep down some of that background noise. So if you have a question, please ask it. Use the Q&A feature in the Zoom webinar tool. Our team is monitoring that Q&A, so please just ask those questions within that tool. If your question is more direct to a particular way that your company operates, or a question that's more specific to your organization, we may take that offline, or we may ask, or if you are more comfortable asking offline, you can certainly do that. Our information will be shown at the conclusion. Just jot that down and we'll be happy to respond. Secondly, if you would like the presentation slides or the video recording, just drop your email into the Q&A. We know what that means. We'll be sure to get that provided to you once that becomes available in the coming days. And then finally, don't forget, at the conclusion of this session, you will receive an evaluation. Please fill out that evaluation by the end of the day, Friday, the end of the day tomorrow. That'll automatically register you for one of our giveaways where we will announce the winner and send out our gifts next week. All right, with that, let's have a little quick pop quiz here. So let me drop this or launch this poll for us. All right, and the poll question: how do you manage approval routings today for things like requisitions, payables, and payments? Your first option there, we really struggle with that. It's a manual process, getting signatures on documents, hard copy paperwork, etc. 2, we're just okay. We use email, scanning hard copies to PDFs, and emailing for approvals. Option C, we're doing well. Electronic document management is in place. Or option D, number 4 there, we're rock stars, fully integrated document management with workflow automation tied to our financial systems. Probably already a TrinDocs client, possibly, if you're in that number 4 category. So lots of options coming in here. Certainly see those who are struggling in that area. Others say, hey, we're just okay. We're using email, scanning hard copies of PDFs. Others are doing it well, and a couple of rock stars out there. So congratulations to those of you who are rocking it. So, all right, we'll appreciate that that feedback. That's certainly helpful as we move forward. All right, quick review here of our agenda. If you missed any of the morning sessions, please check those out. We do have those. We will have those recordings posted to our site. So at 10 o'clock, we did a review of Dynamics GP and options of moving to the cloud through a couple of different options. At 11, Matt Wood on the Dynamics team provided us with some migration guidance and best tips and on importing data and best practices for migration into Business Central. As I mentioned here at the 12 o'clock hour, Jeremy Pritchard is going to join from TrinDocs team to go over trend forms and to go over some of the automation solutions beyond Dynamics. And then at 1, Nicholas Jackson from our consulting team will be diving into Power BI and how to use that powerful visualization and reporting tool to help with financial reporting. So if you haven't had a chance to register for that last session on Power BI, please visit our website, trinsoft.com, and register. And if you missed any of the previous sessions on GP or the BC migration tips, reach out to us or check our website. We'll be posting those presentation slides and recordings in the coming days. All right. Real quick speaker introduction here. I'd like to introduce Jeremy from our TrinDocs team. Jeremy is the TrinDocs Director of Sales and Marketing. He has over 20 years of experience with business development and brings a lot of great experience with all things TrinDocs, TrendForms, TrinPay. At this time, I'm going to turn things over to Jeremy. With that, Jeremy, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Well, good morning, Bobby. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of TrinCon 2021. Very excited to be here. I appreciate all that you and Tara and Matt and the team do over at TrendSoft, and we just really appreciate the partnership and the very tight and seamless way that our solutions work together and also that our teams work together. So thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to present TrinDocs and the automation that we can provide to your clients. Today, we're going to talk about TrinDocs in this session here. And what is TrinDocs? Well, you may know us because of our sister company, you may not. So we're going to talk at a high level, give you an overview. We're actually going to provide a demo of one of our new solutions, which is called TrendForms, and that's where you can automate requisitions. We can automate the entire procure-to-pay transaction, whether it's creating requisitions, if it's automating accounts payable, or even paying your vendors for you. We can help with all of that. So we're going to give an overview. We're going to dive into one of those solutions, and then we're going to come back and give you kind of a summary of reasons that you may consider automation beyond Dynamics. Because truthfully, there is some automation, there is some OCR that comes out of the box. We're going to talk about why you might want to do something a little better than that, a little more tailored to you for that. So to start, TrendDocs, automation as unique as you. Well, why do we exist? We exist specifically to help mid-market businesses just like yourself eliminate manual processes. We want you to stop doing manual data entry. We want you to stop pushing paper around the office. We want to help you automate those workflows. And we also provide electronic document management. So instead of having 7.5 years worth of hard copies and file cabinets in your offices that you can never find anything when you need to, we want to get you a digital electronic document management solution. So with one click, you can find whatever you're looking for and provide immediate visibility to your auditors, to your senior management, whatever the case. So TrendDocs helps automate manual processes, driving increased efficiencies and boosting your profits. That's what we do. What do we deliver? Well, we deliver immediate ROI. And we do that because manual processes are not only laden with error because we're human, and they're not only not a lot of fun, that's just boring work, but they're also extremely costly. We know because our clients have told us that when they automate processes, they can save anywhere from $3 to $9 or $10 per transaction. So if you're a large company and maybe you're doing 1,000 documents a week at a minimum, that's $150,000 plus per year that you're saving in earned savings. That's a lot of money. If you're a small company, maybe you're doing only 100 documents a week, you still have the potential to save upwards of $45,000 or $50,000 a year, again, in earned savings. And our solutions, they don't cost in that kind of a range typically. And so we see well under 1 year paybacks nearly all the time. So what do we deliver? We deliver automation as unique as you that saves you money. And we do that in 3 different modules. Today, we're going to talk about the non-inventory requisition piece, where people from the field to the front office, whether they're an ERP user or not, anybody in your organization can create their own requisitions, and that gets tied into your financial system, by the way, instantly, and could be pushed through into TrendDocs to help you with your accounts payable. 3 solutions though. Procure-to-pay, we do requisitions on the front end, we handle automating the accounts payables, and we can even help you pay your vendors on the back end. Well, to dive into that just a little bit deeper, automation without ERP licenses. So anybody can create licenses, even non-ERP users. People that don't get into Dynamics can still create their own recs. We offer line level rules, line level approvals that are tailored to you. And we even give you the ability to create those on your own. You don't need us to create your own requisition modules and forms and rules. You can do that on your own. It's very, very easy. The solution itself is not only easy to manipulate, easy to create, it's easy to use. We built it for non-accounting users. We built it so that you have access 24/7, 365. Wherever you have internet connection, you can use the solution. And again, there are things like delegated approvals. If you're on vacation and you want someone else to continue your work for you, you can assign them to be an alias user for you. You can even have simultaneous approvals if you have groups of teams that are looking at things and approvals need to take place maybe in different, steps simultaneously. You can have that happen. Of course, with TrinDocs, you'll get best-in-class service and support, and that's all included up front. It's not a billable hour perspective. And we go beyond customer satisfaction. That's not enough for us. We don't want to stop at customer satisfaction. We want to make you happy. So customer happiness, that's our goal. And then price to scale. We offer solutions that upfront, you know what you're getting. It's not a situation where the more you use it, the more you pay. That is not at all what we do. You'll know upfront, here's the price. And as my business grows and I use it more, the price doesn't change. You're already locked into the agreement. Pricing is based upon the implementation, which is a one-time development where we're tying into your Dynamics solution. And then licensing. How many people are going to be interacting with the data? That's where pricing comes in. In terms of AP automation, a lot of the same things, tailored to you, extremely highly configurable. We can work with Dynamics plus other solutions if you have third-party logistics solutions or whatever the case might be. We can be a bridge to tie them together. Again, we can do PO matching for you when we find matches in your solution. That's your accounting solution. If we find a three-way match there, we can automatically create that payables transaction for you. And we can do that at the line level, which is a big, big deal. Easy to use, again, wherever you are, 24/7, 365 via the internet. Plus, there's mobile apps for your Android, for your iPhone. Best-in-class service, price to scale. And then to round out the P2P suite, we can help you automate your vendor payments. Single process, no matter how you're paying, we can help you pay, whether it's checks, ACH, digital cards, whatever the case. And when you pay with digital cards, you actually earn a rebate. And so that's a solution that we can help you pay for itself and earn savings, again, very quickly. Plus, you get all the fraud protection that you would expect, tied in again with best-in-class service and support. So that's kind of what we do at a high level. If you want to talk about any of those things in more detail, I'd be happy to speak with you. My name again is Jeremy Pritchard. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for TrinDocs. And here's my contact information. Please feel free to find me on LinkedIn, social media, send me an email, give me a call. Be happy to speak with you and see how we might be able to help you. So with that, I'm going to hop into the demo environment and we're going to hop into TrendForms. Now, TrendForms, just like TrinDocs, it's a web-based tool. So it's a cloud solution. It's hosted on Microsoft Azure. So it's extremely secure. We apply an SSL certification to the site as well. And then, of course, Azure, Microsoft Azure is SOC 1, SOC 2, and SOC 3 compliant. So it's extremely secure. We can log on with Microsoft if you want, with OAuth, or you can have your own unique username and credentials. Whatever the case, however you get into TrendForms, here is what it's going to look like. Now, when we designed TrendForms, we knew that most users were not going to be accounting users. We knew they typically wouldn't even be Dynamics users. They're not going to be in your financial systems. They're going to be other business managers, people in the field. Maybe they're salespeople, marketing people. Maybe they're not even in your offices, but they're outside the office working remotely. They're not going to be people in your accounting solution, but they're going to be able to tie into your accounting solution with the solution we're showing you here. 4 goals. First is easy to use. Second is easy to spin up. Third is affordable for the mid-market, keeping it easy to use, keeping it easy to spin up, keeps it affordable. And then the 4th goal is it's tailored. It's as unique as you, very customizable by you. You can do all that on your own. It's a lightweight tool. It's not for inventoried purchases. That's where you're going to want to use Dynamics for your net positions and waterfalls and so on. This solution is specifically built for everything else. CapEx, supplies, services, things that are not tied to inventory, that's where this can really come into play. And as far as implementation time, it's again easy to use, easy to spin up. So in under 2 weeks, we can have you from signing an agreement to fully up and running, fully integrated with Dynamics, where your team is pushing requisitions through. I'll show you just how easy to do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk through every tab along the top so I can explain what those are. And then we'll come back and we'll actually just create a requisition on our own. So the first tab here that you see is the inbox. And as you would expect, this is where everything that requires your attention resides, is in your inbox. So you can see all the documents that need your help. You can see what step they're in, where they're coming from, who created them. Really, whatever type of information you want to be able to see, we can build here in your dashboard for your inbox. These are items you need to take action on. Next is pending. Now, the pending tab has every form that the user has created, which is pending someone else's action. Maybe they need to review or edit or approve something. This is a document that you created that needs someone else's help. So, for example, I'm logged in as the active user, Abraham Lincoln, created by Abraham Lincoln. It's in the edit step with the admin. So these are documents pending the admin's review. Next is completed. The completed tab not only shows the forms that I created, which are now in a completed step, they show any form that I interacted with, which is now in a completed step. So you'll notice there are some forms that were created by the admin. Well, I'm logged in as Abraham Lincoln. Why am I seeing items created by the admin? Well, these are items where I may have edited, may have approved, or you see some that Abraham did create that maybe I created it. However you interacted with a form, if you had some interaction and the status is now complete, it's going to show up here in your completed step. Search is the next tab. Now, with search, it's pretty straightforward too. We have all of the fields on the form that you can search on. And if you want to drill down, you can do that. So for example, you can search for status that's an active step that was created by Abraham Lincoln. Or maybe it's something different. Maybe you want to add vendor name or vendor number or job number, whatever types of things you want to be able to search on. This can be changed to your needs, tailored to your business, and your search can be drillable. So you can search on one thing or you can really dive down deeper. The next tab is new form. Now, I'm going to quickly pass over this because with one click, literally with one click, we can initiate a new form. And I'll show you how we do that. So I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. And I want to hop over and talk about active user for a second. This is one of my favorite things about Trend Forms. We have the ability to set up alias options. And an alias user is when maybe you're on vacation, maybe you're away from work, and you don't want things sitting still or waiting on you to return, or maybe you're working in a team of people and it's first come, first serve, whoever gets there. Whatever the case, you can set up alias users so that someone else has permissions to approve on your behalf. That person is called an alias user. Now, of course, we don't want everyone and anyone being able to set up everyone and anyone as an alias user. That would be havoc. So only admin users can create aliases. But if you're an admin, then you can do that. So here, remember, I logged in as the admin, but I'm working as Abraham Lincoln. So as I do that, I can see all of Mr. Lincoln's inbox. Notice Lincoln's inbox has one item in there. If I switch and I go back to the admin inbox, well, now there's 4 items. The admin's pending, let's see here, it has 4 items. Let's look at Lincoln's pending. Lincoln's pending has 1 item. So you can see as you switch alias user, you see the work that they see just like you're them. Their inbox, they're pending, they're completed. I can see all of the work on Mr. Lincoln's behalf, and my approvals would be captured something like admin approved on behalf of A. Lincoln. So for audit trail purposes, that's all very clean too. So this is a great feature for when folks are going to be out of pocket, or you have people that are doing, overlapping duties and so on. So as Abraham Lincoln, the active user, that drives the different types of companies that are available to me, and that drives the different types of forms that are available to me. So entity is the same thing as company. So trend forms can handle multiple entities. If you have one entity, that's fine. If you have a dozen, that's fine. Whatever the case, we can support multiple entities, and based upon what company I choose, then that determines what form types are available. So for example, if I choose the default company here, I can see there's one form type option. It's the PO requisition demo, which we're going to hop into in just a second. However, if I switch from default company and now I select company A, well, now there's two form types. There's fixed assets and requisitions. Again, if I switch to company B, well, now there's only one form type, and that's the requisition. So the active user determines the entities, which determines the form types. And that's, of course, all controlled by however you want to set them up. So to get back into the default company and to get into PO requisition, now we're ready to hop back over and show you how you can create a new form. So again, with one click, new form, here we go. So you notice there's some grayed out information that I did not type in. The PO number is automatically generated for me. Created by is automatically generated for me. There are some asterisks that you see. Those are required fields. So these are fields that I'm going to have to answer, but there are others that are not. And you can select what is required and what is not. But just for purposes of illustration, and again, all this information, if you have the vendor name as a required field, then it's only going to pull in vendor names from Dynamics. So for example, as I start to type A, well, I see all of my vendors in Dynamics that begin with the letter A. Now, as I keep on typing, I go AT. Well, now there's only two vendors in Dynamics that begin with AT, A Taste of Kentucky and A to Z Cleaning. And you'll notice there's information there, again, pulling from Dynamics, that as I click this one click, now I have the address. I didn't type that in. It's automatically pulled over for me. I have the state. I didn't type that in. It's automatically pulled over for me. Have the vendor ID. The point that we're making here is we want to stop manual data entry and help you automate as much as possible. We can even automate purchase date if you want to have scripting language so that the purchase date is always the date that the form was created. We can do that, and you don't have to do anything there too. Or you can manually key in a date, or you can pull a drop down and we'll say November 22nd. So we're going to cut this PO here. You can do whatever you want to. So for the job number, that's a mandatory field. We're going to type that in. And I'm going to pull in, I don't have to here because it's not an asterisk field, but I'm going to put a department code. And we're going to call that Fran. Okay, so now that we have all that information done, now I can start completing my requisition. What are the item lines, the things that we're going to buy? Well, let's see, item one, let's say we're going to buy a mop. And we only need two mops, and mops are $10 a piece. And so you'll see my line item automatically calculated for me. I didn't have to type that in. $20 there. Maybe if we're going to buy 3 mops instead, 4 mops instead, you'll see the line items automatically calculating for me, as well as the sheet is automatically calculating for me. So if you want to add another line, very simply add the plus sign here. So let's say line item 2, we're going to buy some soap. And we're going to buy one big box of soap that costs $50. And so now with that box of soap, that's $50 plus my $5, 5 mops at $10 each. 50 plus 50 is 100. The line and form automatically calculate for me. You can set those too, incidentally, if you want to have auto calculation around addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, whatever you want to auto calc, you can control that and you can set that. Let's say we're considering buying another line item. So line item 3, again, we just hit the plus, and maybe we're going to buy a box of gloves. And let's see, those gloves are $25 a box. So now we're at $25. Now, line item 4, someone has said, hey, we're interested in this, but maybe you say, no, we don't want to do that at this time. So we're going to delete that line simply by clicking on the trash can. and away it goes. So we have our 3 lines. You can see they're all totaled up at the line level. They're all totaled up at the sheet level. From a GL perspective, you can actually assign GL budgets to your requisition, and you can divide them up. You don't have to have everything hit a single GL. So let's say we want the mops hitting one figure. Let's say we want the soap hitting another, and I'm just doing this quickly so you can see we can build in drop downs, wherever you want if you want to have things like that. But the point that I'm illustrating is that you can have different amounts hit different GLs, and that's all totally fine. Or if you want, you can have them all hit one GL, and you can do that too. You can add attachments. So simply clicking the paperclip, you can do a file import. If you wanted to attach something, you can do so. I'm not going to do that now. You can add comments, and when you add comments stay with the document for the life of the document. And you can select whether or not the comments are internally facing only, or anyone that gets the requisition can see it as an external. So by default, it's internal only. So I'm going to say happy TrinCon 2021. Happy to be here. And if I add a comment, you can see that it's name stamped. I'm logged in as the administrator. It's date stamped and it's time stamped. And there's my comment. Now, had I clicked this external box, anyone that receives a PDF of this requisition would see that comment. But since I did not do that, it's only for the internal team only. So you can have different notes and do whatever you want. So after you've looked over everything is in good shape, you simply click submit. Now, that document that we just created is in Mr. Lincoln's pending box here. So that's document 1008. You can see there's my note, happy TrinCon 2021. So Lincoln created it. It's pending someone else's work. It's pending the first approval. So we're going to hop over there and I'll show you what that looks like. As the admin, that's who needs to approve it. So if I go to the admin user and now I look at the admin's inbox, there it is, document 1008. There's my note, happy TrinCon 2021. I have the ability to approve this with a thumbs up. I can reject it. I can suspend it, but since it's in a pending status, you cannot make any changes to it. We don't want to have documents that get changed, and you don't want to have to consider, well, I approved this and it said that, but now it's different. No, we don't want that situation. So pending status, you cannot make any changes once you've submitted it. But after the form is approved, then if you want to go back and update or add GLs, you can do that with notes. Or if you want to put in an edit step into your workflow, and we've done that here, if you want to do that as an edit step for one user, then maybe as changes are requested, that goes back to the one user that can make those edits, and then it gets pushed through so that as an approver, you know that what you approve is going to be that's what's going to make it on through here. So from here, you can also set up a rule that any rejection automatically sends into an edit step if you'd want. So, but I'm going to approve this. I'm feeling good today. This looks good. We're going to click thumbs up to approve. And now that document has gone back over to Mr. Lincoln for his review. So now it's in Lincoln's inbox. Here you see 1008. It's pending the second approval. So I'm going to approve it. I initiated it. I know that it's right. My boss has approved it. Sent it back to me to say, are you sure? Yep, I'm sure. So now we approved it. And now that one is in Mr. Lincoln's pending again for admin review. This is that edit step we mentioned actually. There's that document 1008 in the pending. So if I go into the admin inbox for the admin, it's in the edit step for admin review. So I'm going to click that. I'm actually not going to make any edits. I could, but here for the purposes of this webinar, I'm going to approve it. And now we can see that document is in a completed step. There it is, complete. 1008 is the form ID. There's my note, happy TrinCon 2021. Okay, so you can see how fast, how easy that is. And now from here, we can see some different things about the document. We can see the approval lines. If we had some rules that were built in, this is where they would be. We did not build any in here, but you can have different approval rules. For example, maybe it's certain department code at a certain dollar limit always produces a rule that says Abraham Lincoln needs to approve it. Or maybe it's a different department code and a different item number always produces a rule that says George Washington needs to approve it. Whatever the approval rules are, you get to create them, and this is where you would see them for each document. You can also see an audit trail. So we just walked through this very fast here, but you can see the form was created by Mr. Lincoln. It went to the admin who performed the action of approve, and it's all date stamped, name stamped, time stamped for crystal clear audits all the way down each step of the way. You can see the audit trail. Now, as an admin, there are some other things that you can do too. These are only for admin users, but I'll show you since we're here. You can actually override a user. You can override a workflow, and you could delete the whole form if you want to. Those are 3 options that admin users can do. Now, since we're here on this completed tab, I'll show you something else that's really neat. These again are all the forms that are in a completed status, whether I created them or not. If I interacted with them, they show up in my completed. So that means, for example, on the form that we just looked at, Mr. Lincoln created it, but I have access to it because I was an approver. Well, let's say next month comes around, Lincoln's on vacation, but you need to reorder the same thing. No problem. With one click, you can click copy to a new form, and now instead of PO number ABC18, if I copy to a new form, I have all of that same information that's auto-populated for me. I didn't type anything. I hit one button, and now I have a new PO number, ABC 2019. So again, with one button, I can submit that, and now this new requisition is in the workflow. Talk about time savings. This is the kind of automation that you can expect to see. And again, it's not just for Dynamics users. Anybody in the organization, whether they're out in the field working remotely, whether they're in the front office in a senior leadership position, anybody can quickly and easily create their own requisitions, and they get tied together with your Dynamics financial solution. If you have TrinDocs, they get tied together with TrinDocs so that we can really help automate payments there. So some other things you can do, I said payments, I meant automate requisitions, automate accounts payable. Some other things you can do from your action menu. This is where your admin users can very easily, very quickly drill down and set up new form types if they want. We're not going to do that, but if you need to make an edit to a form type, when you do that, you can edit a form type and you can change the status. Right now, the status is active. If we put that as inactive, then of course no one has access to it. If we put it as in development, then that's like calling timeout to the rest of your organization. No one can continue working on a form type that is in development stage. So if you were to save that as in development, that would allow you to work on it without having others be in there working over the top of you. So you can do form types, you can do fields. This is where you can show the fields that are displayed, what order they're in, if you want them to be numbered fields or date fields or text fields. This is where you can do all that. And numbered fields, you can set decimal places. Date fields can have a calendar date picker. Text fields can have drop downs. And you determine where that information comes from. Is that from your Dynamics? Is that from some other document management? Whatever the situation is, the text field, you tell us where you want to pull text from, and we can do that. Is it auto-populated based on another field, and so on. You can choose your column. Where does the field land? Is it on the left side, the right side? You can choose what tab it's in. This is where you can do all that. You can do calculated fields. So we don't have any calculations in here, but if you wanted to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, divide, sum a column, you can set all that. Here's where you would set up your tabs, your workflow steps, your settings to everything that you need to do. You also, let me hop in here and show you roles. So you can establish new roles if you want to add a role. It's very easy. You can say, I want them to be in company A and I want them to be an approver, whatever the case, you can do that there. You can set up security clearance so that, those users only see or approve specific entities, specific form types. You can control all that on your own, even all the way down to the names and terminologies for the buttons, whatever you're using. If you have certain lingo in your business that's unique to you and you want to use that in your requisition tool, you can do that. So that is a very high level overview at TrinForms. TrinDocs, if you have not seen that, is much the same way, very user friendly, very easy to see visibility to documents where they're at, where they've been, the audit trails, unique document numbers. Those are the types of automation solutions that we provide to you. Now, to wrap things up, let me get back into a few PowerPoint slides here. And again, automation is what we provide. We want to help you eliminate manual data entry, and you've seen how we can do that from a requisition position. So here's kind of the top 10 things that I want you to remember about TrinDocs and why you should consider automation beyond Dynamics. Well, number one, flexibility. You've seen it in the webinar right there. TrinDocs designs workflows with business rules specific to you. Complex and matrix approval rules, tailored business needs, that's not standard in Dynamics. That doesn't typically come in, out of the box functionality in Dynamics solutions, but that's where TrinDocs really excels. Flexibility. Number two, unique customer setup. Now, if you want to treat different customers in different ways, we can do that for you. Maybe, just as an example, maybe for accounts payable, you have different rules for vendor A versus vendor B when it comes to freight or taxes, or maybe you have different rules for variances. Is it plus or minus 2%? We're going to let pass through as an approval, and we're going to put that variance in a GL budget that we're going to reconcile at the end of the year. Maybe that's the way you go. Maybe it's everything matches to the penny, and if it doesn't, you want to push those documents back to whoever created it. Whatever the case is, we can do tailored things that are unique, even at a customer level. Number three, line level. So with the TrinForms piece there, we just showed you and talked about line level rules, line level flags, and alerts. With TrinDocs, we can have line level PO matching. So from the AP automation piece, if you want us to look into Dynamics at your purchase orders, your purchase receipts, at the line level, we can do that. And when we find those three-way matches, we can even create the payables transaction for you, push it all the way through. Number four, unlimited documents. It doesn't matter how many documents you push through, 1 a week, 100 a week, 1,000 a week, it doesn't matter. The solutions are all the same price for the requisition automation, for the AP automation, unlimited documents, unlimited workflows. And actually, these solutions can be used for more than just requisitions. If you want to do contracts, maybe expense reports, maybe you have CapEx or contract management solution needs, that we can help you with those too. Between TrinDocs and TrinForms, there's some overlap where you can do some things in both of them, but there's other areas where, for instance, TrinDocs can help with contract management and serve as that electronic document management repository for you too. Free and unlimited transactions. Doesn't matter how many documents you push through. Doesn't matter how many workflows you push through. Up front, so your budgeting is easy, regardless of if the business is growing by leaps and bounds. Your usage is going to be growing, but your cost is not. And so that means if your usage increases, but your cost is not, then your ROI increases. And that's really what we want to help you do. Number six, no ERP licenses are needed. Now, that's true whether it's on the requisition piece or what we just showed you in trend forms. You don't have to be a Dynamics user to do that. In TrinDocs, if you want to be able to view documents in TrinDocs from the AP automation perspective, you don't have to be a ERP licensed user for that either. TrinDocs offers free and unlimited viewer licenses, but when the OCR engine is in Dynamics, then you're going to require at least a light user license to view those documents, and there's really no need in that. We can do that for you for free. Documents are stored outside the ERP system. Now, you can store things in Dynamics, of course, but when you do that, you have to pay for it. Well, why would you do that if you can do that for free and still have instant access? We can build in plugins and buttons into your Dynamics environment so that with one click, you can go from looking at Dynamics to looking at TrinDocs and actually see in the documents. If you want to pull down a PDF and email it from there, it's very easy to do so. So why pay storage in Azure Cloud? TrinDocs stores your documents and data outside of Dynamics. So, for example, are you one of the people that's on GP and maybe you're concerned about sunsetting and when that happens? Of course, they keep kind of pushing that along down the road, which is, good for some, maybe not good for others. But there's going to come a day whenever GP is going to sunset and you're going to move to Business Central. So what happens when you do that? Where are your documents? Well, with TrinDocs, that's extremely easy. The migration we can do with TrendSoft is super fast, super easy. We can seamlessly integrate with BC and have all those same documents, all that same history carried right there along with you. Number 8, highly configurable integrations. TrinDocs can integrate with whatever Microsoft solution that you prefer, GP, Nav, Business Central. It doesn't matter to us. We can integrate with whatever you want. Plus, we can even pull in and be a bridge for other solutions. Again, maybe it's a third-party logistics solution. Whatever the case, if you want us to be a bridge and a conduit to help you get information into and out of Dynamics faster and easier, we can help you with that. Maybe you need a workflow solution that's not tied into Dynamics, like contract management, like legal reviews, like HR onboarding. We can help you with that too. Highly configurable, automation as unique as you. Number 9, service and support. We have best-in-class service and support, and we say that very proudly. We know that because our clients tell us that. I just looked, and we have a rating of 4.8 out of 5 stars in our help desk, and that is from our clients rating us when they've asked us for work, and we've done the work for them. What do they think of our service and support? 4.8 out of 5 stars. That's best in class, folks, and that's what we offer, and we offer it all up front. It's included with the agreements. There's no billable hours to concern yourself with. TrinDocs service and support is included with the agreements. So if you're signing up for an annual agreement for AP automation, that service and support comes along with you. If you're signing up for an annual agreement for requisitions, like we looked at, that service and support comes with you. And so much of the ROI around automation solutions, it hinges on what happens when things don't go the way they're supposed to. What happens when things go wrong, when documents error out? Well, we help you with all that. You don't have to worry about that. Also, what happens whenever you have to upgrade your ERP? What do you do to keep your AP automation solution updated? Well, we help you with all that too. Onboarding new approvers, editing roles. We can help you with all those kinds of things. Service and support, best in class. And then finally, you know this from working with TrendSoft, but Microsoft Gold Partner Expertise. We excel in all things Microsoft, and we're actually in the same building as TrendSoft. And so not only do our solutions work very tightly, very seamlessly together, but so do our teams. We go to lunch together, we're friends, we know each other. So whether it's from our years of experience in GP and NAV, or to now being the very first AP automation solution for Business Central that's out there on the Microsoft App Source, We offer unparalleled integrations with Microsoft solutions because of that great partnership that we have with our sister company, TrinSoft. And that's probably a good place to stop. Bobby, again, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you today here at this great event, TrinCon 2020-21. It's been a wonderful event, and we're still in the middle of it, still rolling. So I hope you stick around for the final sessions here. If you want to speak with me, I would be happy to do so. Again, here's my contact information. Our teams are as flexible as our solutions. So you tell us the things that you want to have done, kind of your current state and your desired state, and we'll help you build that bridge to get from point A to point B. Thank you so much. If you want to drop notes and questions in the chat, please feel free to do that. I'm going to be here and available for you. But again, Bobby, thank you so much. Tara, Matt, really appreciate the partnership. Really proud to be a part of this TrinCon 2020-21 event. If there's any way possible that we can help you over at TrinDocs with tailored, automation that's as unique as you, please give us a shout. We'd love to do that. Thank you. Bye.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Jeremy. And we will go ahead and actually bring Jeremy on with us. If you have any questions about trend forms, about automation, unique as you, and outside of Dynamics, we've brought Jeremy Pritchard on to help answer some of those questions. So if you have a question, drop that into the Q&A. We'll be sure to get that asked as well. Jeremy, how are you? Hope everything's going well.
Yeah, I'm doing great, Bobby. Doing great.
Perfect. Couple of quick questions that have come in as we monitored. First off, can you give me a quick overview of TrinDocs, kind of for those who may not be familiar with kind of what the TrinDocs solution is?
Sure, absolutely. Well, TrinDocs is the company's namesake, and it's an AP automation solution. Two things in particular: workflow automation plus document management. Those are the two things that really are at the heart of TrinDocs. And our owners are CPAs, accounting, and so we typically start in the AP automation world, but it's not too long before our clients see, hey, this will work for things outside of AP. And really, there's about 40 different back office solutions that we can help with, whether it's HR or legal or sales orders, credit card reconciliations. TrinDocs does lots and lots of things specifically by automating workflows and helping with electronic document management.
Perfect. Well, thank you. And again, for anybody who is needing a copy of the presentation slides or the recording, just drop your email into the Q&A. We'll get that to you as well. Jeremy, can you quickly hit on, obviously there's a lot of movement to the cloud, both for GP and Business Central. Is TrinDocs cloud-based only, or is it available for on-premise also?
That's a really good question, and the world seems to be moving more and more to cloud, and in fact, so much so that a lot of solutions on the market are cloud only. But at TrinDocs, we are available either in cloud-hosted installations, or if you want to work in an on-prem situation where we're installed on your own local servers, then we can do that too. So TrinDocs and TrendForms can be either cloud-based or on-prem installations. That's a great question.
Okay, great. All right, one other question. Again, if you have a question, just drop it into the Q&A. One that came in along the way was asking about the pricing model for the TrinDocs solutions, if you don't mind to hit on those.
Sure. Well, we first I'm going to say what we don't do, and then I'm going to say what we do. And you say, well, that's kind of crazy. Well, my father is an engineer, so I've learned all the ways you don't do things and the ways that you do them. So very quickly, there's three things that we don't do. We don't charge per transaction. That is a huge deal. So whether you're doing, literally, we have some clients that are doing hundreds of thousands of transactions per month. We have others that are just doing, a few hundred, but our pricing is not volume driven. Our pricing is driven really by two major things. One is the upfront one-time integration. That's where we're working with you guys, Bobby, on the TrinSoft side to integrate, our solutions into the Dynamics environment. That's where we're working with the customer to understand what are their unique business rules and what do they want to have happen when documents come in. So that's an upfront one-time charge for integration. And then beyond that, there's a recurring licensing, and anyone that's going to be interacting with data, whether they're an approver or whether there's somebody that's coding or creating, those are paid licenses. Now, if you just want to be able to see the information, just be able to view, then those are free and unlimited. But if you're going to be working with data, manipulating or approving, those are paid licenses. So two big drivers for pricing. One is a one-time integration, and two is a licensing that's recurring.
Awesome. Well, I know from talking with other clients that have looked at different document management solutions that the not charging on a per transaction or a per document is a huge savings for them, and one of the big differentiators with TrinDocs solution. So that's awesome. Well,
Yeah,
Jeremy, we're running short on time here. Is there one or two things that you would hope, attendees would remember from today's session before we get you out of here?
Yeah, I just, our tagline is automation as unique as you. And in the world we live in, obviously we come with a lot of years of experience. So we come with best practices and standard operating procedures. And there's a certain extent to where everyone does things about the same. But where we really, really shine is in our ability to tailor and mold our solutions around our clients' needs. So everybody does things a little bit differently, across the board, and our ability to get into how do you handle freight and taxes and rounding, how do you handle serial and lot tracking, all of those types of things that really might be in the weeds pretty deeply. That's where we live, and we really shine in our ability to make our solutions as unique as our clients.
Perfect. Well, again, thank you very much, Jeremy, for being a part of this. If anybody else has any questions, definitely drop those into the Q&A. We are running a little short on time, but we will certainly follow up with you outside of this session to get those answered for you. So again, Jeremy, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. Great being with you, Bobby.
All right, thank you. And for those of you, as we wrap up the session here, a little bit of homework follow-up for you. First, again, be sure you complete that session evaluation prior to the end of the day Friday, so you're entered into the drawing. Secondly, if you haven't done so, please go to trinsoft.com, register for that last session coming up at 1 p.m. on Power BI. And again, if you missed any of those sessions, we will be posting the recordings and the slides in the coming days. So be sure and check that site regularly. Thirdly, contact our TrinSoft team if you have any questions. If there's anything that we can help with, our technical team is ready to step in and help answer and help you guys with automation within your systems and outside of your systems. And then additionally, follow us on any of the social media platforms at TrinSoft, at TrinDocs on Twitter. We are also on Facebook, LinkedIn, both TrinSoft and TrinDocs. So please be sure to check us out for upcoming releases, webinars, and those types of information. And then also visit our websites, trinsoft.com and trindocs.com. We're continuously posting, relevant content, information out there for our clients. So with that, we will certainly say thank you. Here is my contact information, along with Jeremy's contact information. Either of us will be happy to reach out and follow up with any questions you may have. We certainly appreciate each of you being a part of our webinar today, and we look forward to continuing moving forward with each of your teams into the future. Thanks again. Hope you have a great day.